Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Loren LoRosa is here as well. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
He's running for governor of South Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, Jermaine Johnson. Welcome, brother.
What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all for having me this morning.
How you feeling?
Both of y'all. I'm feeling good this morning, man. It feels real good. You know, we got an opportunity to do some history making in South Carolina.
¿Cómo está usted, man?
Muy bien, mucho gusto.
See, they said he speaks Spanish. I don't speak Spanish.
See,
So I don't know what
see,
that
I don't like when you do
Yeah.
that. But you Dominican, he's Dominican, but don't ever want to claim it.
Right.
You just break it out whenever you want to.
Nah, they say he's fluent in Spanish.
Nah,
I'm
he
trying to
definitely
test him,
did.
so
He
I
definitely
ain't really.
Yeah.
Feliz Navidad.
I heard that's your favorite Christmas song,
That is
bro.
the best one, man.
Yeah. Uno, dos, tres.
That's all you got.
Why do you want to run for governor of South Carolina? What beautiful state.
Yeah, well, South Carolina deserves a change. It's time for a new beginning for South Carolina. We've seen some crazy stuff happening in the state. We know South Carolina has over 600 unsolved murders just since 2020 alone. We have the highest percentage of bridges in disrepair in the entire country. Our roads are the top 2 worst in the entire country and most dangerous in the entire country. But yet we have leaders in South Carolina that want to look at other states and look at other countries and talk trash about them, when really South Carolina needs all the assistance that they can get right about now. And we have a governor that decided to send our National Guardsmen to Washington, D.C. because Donald Trump told him to do so. You know, it's time for somebody who really wants to just focus on the issues that are happening to everyday South Carolinians.
I mean, you know, talk about pause, overachieve. I mean, how do you have the time? I mean, you talk about you have a pilot license, your motorcycle club, member of Phi Beta Sigma, you're a professor, you're business school on a business school board at Benedict College, which is HBCU. There's so many things that you do. So
First black state representative to represent his district.
absolutely fluent in Spanish. So, like, when do you have the time?
Why did you forget the University of Delaware?
What happened?
I didn't want to say that one. He received the University of Delaware's Biden Award.
Yes.
We don't talk about Delaware, but you're doing so much. So when do you have the time, brother?
Oh, man, listen, I'm blessed with a beautiful wife, man, who's sitting in here in the studio with me right now.
Oh, right.
And,
So that's the key.
yeah,
A
black
black
woman,
woman,
too.
that's
A
the key.
black woman.
That's the key.
Very
Had to give
important
my
to
baby
say.
a shout
A
out.
black woman.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the key.
And my wife, she's very successful in her own right. She's a pharmacist as well, so she's a doctor. So I'm a doctor of business administration. I've just been a blessed individual to have the support of my family to allow me to do the things that I need to do. She's not a selfish individual, so she just supports me when I have to go out here in the community and just make the changes I need to make.
Did you guys meet at Benedict? Did you
No,
guys go to
we went to
Harvard?
College of Charleston. Shout out to College of Charleston.
CSC.
Yeah, so I played basketball at the College of Charleston. The same time that Stephen Curry was at Davidson, and let Steph know right now that we beat them. That's why he ended up going to the NBA that year. We put him out the tournament, and I was part of that team down there at College of Charleston. But that's where we met at, and we've been together ever since.
Now, I was going to say you are the second Democrat to launch a campaign for governor. Talk to us about just the feats and the things that are about to be ahead of you. Like, what are you nervous about? What are you excited about? You're about to make history.
Well, I'm not really nervous about anything. The people all across South Carolina, they want to see something different. They've been excited ever since I decided to announce my run for governor because they know I've been the one who's been fighting on their behalf for years now. I think most of y'all probably saw that DEI speech that I did that has been seen by over about 7 million people at this point. People all across this country decided to reach out to me and say, Jermaine, we would love for you to run for higher office to do some things. So the people of South Carolina are just ready for something different. I will be the second black nominee in the history of South Carolina. That's a big deal right now. And even if even if I don't win, some young boy or some young girl will look at me and say, "Man, I can now be that guy. It's possible. I can grow up to be him when I get up there." So I went to 7 different high schools. I had a .8 GPA my freshman year of high school. I was homeless most of my upbringing. I lived in motels. Yeah, the .8, man. Wow. Yeah. I lived in motels. I lived in a Evergreen motel, a Travelodge Inn, and all these different places, and slept on friends' couches and things like that. But yet I still was able to graduate, still was able to go to college, still was able to get my doctorate, still was able to be a professional athlete, a whole bunch of stuff. So kids know it's possible.
You mentioned the highways in South Carolina. Anybody that's been to South Carolina, you just see how much it's growing, right? Like, I mean, traffic is crazy in Charleston. Traffic is crazy in places like Mounts Corner. Does the state have the proper infrastructure to accommodate the growing population?
Man, heck no, man. And I know you've seen it yourself, man. I mean, listen, anybody who was driven between South Carolina and North Carolina, you can literally see the line in the road about how bad it is. Like you can feel you can feel how bad it is. And because people are dying every single day, this is why our insurance is so high. Like car insurance continues to go up, and it's partly because of how bad our infrastructure is. And we're not truly addressing these issues. People are dying every single day on these roads, man. And until we start to take this thing serious, I don't know what's going to happen.
I was going to ask, you talk about the murders, you talk about the roads. What's the first thing you want to do when you get in office?
Well, the biggest thing that I'm all about is mental health. I traveled the state about a year and a half ago with a bunch of former gang members, Bloods and Crips and GDs, and we went to different communities where they felt disenfranchised. And we asked them, well, how can we solve the issues in your communities? And these are places that were not in my district. I went all over the state. I went to about 30 different counties. And every last county said, mental health. Every last one said mental health, because of these kids are out here. We have a bunch of people who are running around with undiagnosed mental health concerns, and then they're raising kids now also with undiagnosed mental health concerns. And then we also have given them access to guns by the Constitution to carry and all those different types of things. So it's caused so many problems. Well, I want to make sure that police officers actually have the support in terms of having a mental health provider on the staff with them. I want to make sure that the schools have mental health workers in every single district in the state. I want to make sure people have that work.
Now, Andrew Yang is also a supporter.
That's my guy.
How did you and Andrew Yang get up?
Oh, man. So in 2019, when I was looking at who I was going to support for President of the United States, I was actually a Cory Booker supporter. Shout out to Cory Booker. But what Cory Booker was talking about wasn't really, in my opinion, talking about solutions. And then I came across the Asian guy talking about he wanted to give everybody $1,000 a month. And when I thought about it, I said, man, $1,000 a month would have really changed my life. Like it would have kept me out of those hoods. It would have kept me out of living in those motels. That would have really changed everything about me. And when I met him, it was like he was talking about AI and all these other things that literally we are seeing every single day now. Like everything he said, he was right about everything. And that's what led me to him. And I said, man, let me go ahead and help you. And we've been friends ever since.
Oh, wow. You talk a lot about economic empowerment. What's the specific plan to bring like real investment, real jobs, real entrepreneurship into rural counties, in South Carolina?
Well, one of the things that I've already done is in my district, I created something, the Lower Richland Tech Academy. And what that does is it teaches low coding and no coding technologies to the people in the rural community, and it allows them to start their own entrepreneur businesses in those areas. So in Eastover, South Carolina, we have started at least 40 different small businesses right there in that rural area. And these are majority black and brown people that started these different businesses down there. I want to take that entire program across the state. I also want to work on this, my South Carolina Resiliency Act. So what that's going to do is going to mandate South Carolina to be able to produce or manufacture at least 25% of the resource that we need in South Carolina. Right now, South Carolina only produces 11% of the food that we consume every single year. 11% is not enough. So we have to import all of our food from other states, from other countries. I want to say, listen, let's produce our own stuff. What that's going to do is that's going to help out our rural communities as well as our farmers to put them back to work, allow them to expand the farms and say, listen, we're going to get our own produce from the people who are right here in South Carolina.
When did you learn to start projecting your voice? Every time you talk, I want to do push-ups or something.
You got
to get up and running planes or something.
Man, listen. Well, I actually I got a degree in communications, but my thing was always
loud
been,
little boy.
Yeah, they always said I was loud, man. I've always been a loud speaker. They've always confused me with saying, "Hey, man, you talk a lot." I was like, "No, I don't talk a lot. I just talk loud." And I want to be heard. I need to be heard when I'm speaking up for people. So, yeah.
People always ask if you do become governor. Well, we say when you do become governor, how would you work with Donald Trump?
Oh, man, listen, man, you're going to bring that man up in here, man. Listen. So my thing is, and what I've told everybody, I don't care who's in the White House. I don't care if it's Republican. I don't care if it's a Democrat in the White House. If it's not good for South Carolina, I'm not supporting it. I'm truly South Carolina first. We have these crazy people who are running for office to call themselves Trump conservatives. I was like, what the hell is a Trump conservative, man? Like, you let one man define what a conservative is. And that's the problem. So if Donald Trump wants to do good for South Carolina, I will gladly work with him. If he wants to do bad, I'll gladly stand against him. And I've been an independent thinker. I don't care, what party you decide to be with. If it's not good for the people of South Carolina, I'm not supporting it.
What's your plan to overhaul education so students graduate in South Carolina either career ready, college ready, are business ready, because we lag behind national averages.
Man, we're 43rd in the country.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it's bad, man, and we haven't done anything about it. So places like Greenville are receiving more funds than places like Denmark, right? So we have an issue where we're not funding these schools adequately. So I want to do a full-on public education audit. Mm-hmm. What I want to do is I want to compare the rural schools that are well performing with the rural schools that are poor performing, and the urban schools with the urban schools that are well performing with the urban schools that are poor performing. Mm-hmm. I want to look at the administration and overhead and to see if there's any wasteful spending with the administration. And I also want to look at teacher pay. I want to look at all that and compare them all across the entire state and create this. After this entire audit, I want to get all the information together and then make best practices from there. So to make sure that we have all the information we need to make the best decision. Right now, we're not doing anything. We're just looking at social issues. We're more concerned with banning books in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. We are the #1 state of banned books. South Carolina is. We want to look at all the crazy stuff going on instead of actually investing. We want to take away public school money and give it to private damn schools, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is a problem right there. And in these private schools, if you want to send your kid to this private school, they literally can say, your kid can't come to the private school, but my kid can come, but your tax dollars going to pay for my kid to go to the private school that your kid can't even get to. Mm-hmm. And that's a problem in South Carolina. So we have to truly look at public education to make sure we're fixing and addressing these issues.
What's the one thing the governor is doing wrong? The governor right now, what's one thing that he's doing wrong? If you could pick out all the things, one thing that really irks you.
Kissing Donald Trump's butt. I mean, just to be honest, he sent 200 of our National Guardsmen to Washington, D.C. And when he sent them up there, what they're doing is they're literally on the side of the road picking up trash in D.C. right now. Mm-hmm. Well, if those 200 National Guardsmen didn't have anything to do, well, how come they're not in South Carolina helping to solve those 600 unsolved murders that I talked about? Mm. Well, like they could have easily been put to work doing something better for the people of South Carolina. But no, every time Donald Trump calls, he answers. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem that we have. We need to be addressing these issues that are in South Carolina.
But when the president calls, aren't you supposed to answer them?
You're supposed to answer, but you don't got to do everything that this man say every time he say send. I mean, and he did it during hurricane season. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on, man. Like we're sitting in a situation where it could be seriously dangerous, putting more South Carolinians at risk because you want to appease one man. Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
What would be the consequence saying no to him?
You're just not going to be best friends with him anymore. I mean,
he can stop federal funding.
Yeah, he can get your resources for when there's emergencies in South Carolina, or even funding for the schools and the stuff that you're talking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, he could talk about all different types of federal funding issues, but we're seeing federal funding cuts already. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. He's going to cut us anyways if he doesn't like us, And he might threaten. Once I become governor, he might threaten to cut funding then anyways, just because I'm a black Democrat.
You be a DEI.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be a DEI hire, right? But I always say, listen, call me DEI. I definitely earned it. Wow. Right? So that's the type of person I am. So
how do you make sure that when you go in and do all the testing in those schools and you raise those numbers to get the funding and stuff, that the teachers are still really connected to the students? Because I went to an inner city school, and when we got better numbers, score numbers, test numbers, more money, the teachers they brought in were so disconnected from us. It changed the environment of the school, and it was it caused more students to not come back to the school. And I think that happens a lot, especially in the inner city school. So how do you do good in those schools, but also make sure that the teachers are still invested in the students?
Right. Well, the thing is, you have to make sure that you are connected with the school. So one thing that I've done, even as a state representative, I decided to go and become a substitute teacher. So I went into the public schools to go.
Do everything.
What haven't you done?
365 is crazy.
Yeah, man, it is. I do a lot, but I wanted to go in there because I wanted the teachers to one, know that I cared. I wanted the kids to be able to see me and say, man, that's a state representative. He's a politician, but yet he's still he's one of us, and I can be him, and I can see him, and I can touch him. So I went in there to really assess the situation, and I think you lead by example. And I don't plan to stop any of the work that I'm doing once I become governor. I plan to continue on going into these schools. I plan to continue on going in there and advocating for them. I even filed a bill that would mandate that the members of the General Assembly would have to do at least 5 days a year of volunteering or substitute teaching in the public schools because I need them to see it.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
Now, we always talk about trade schools, right? I'm salute to Lincoln Tech. I'm an ambassador for Lincoln Tech. I love trade schools. but you really love trade schools. Explain why you think trade schools are so necessary.
Well, I mean, listen, we put too much emphasis on these 4-year institutions. I think if you're not an athlete or you're not going to be a lawyer or a doctor, you should be looking at trade schools. And we have allowed people to really just keep overselling these 4-year institutions all the time. And trade schools, we have a lack of workers right now. We have a lack of electricians. We have a lack of plumbers. We have a lack of engineers. My son right now is going to Midlands Technical College to get his mechatronics degree right now because Scout Motors needs some more workers that's coming to South Carolina. Michelin said about 65% of their workforce are retiring over the next few years. We have a lack of these industrial workers. And I think we need to put an emphasis. I mean, people can come out of these trade schools making $85,000 after 2 years. I mean, they'll be 19 years old, man. Like you got to think about that, helping these kids to learn how to invest in their futures.
I got cousins, man, in Moncks Corner who were doing HVAC soon as they got out of high school. They ain't missed a meal in 25 years.
That's right. That's right, man.
And I love the conversations you're having because you're talking about economic empowerment. You're talking about mental health, something else you were talking about. Trade schools. Like all of that stuff to me is just about affordability and how to keep people safe. Why is that so hard for politicians to convey? Life ain't complicated. Yeah. People just want some more money in their pocket and they want to feel safe.
Because they allowing Fox News and CNN to be the driving talking point. And I think that's the problem. We do the same thing in South Carolina. The Republicans, they quote Fox News. The Democrats quote CNN. And I think we need to get away from that. I think we need to get back to addressing the issues. I mean, I'm all about affordability. People are hungry, man. Like, people are starving out here. We don't even have a minimum wage in South Carolina. Like, people always say, let's raise minimum wage. We don't have one. We have to establish a minimum wage before we can raise the dang minimum wage. So I mean, it's issues like that. And minimum wage is $7.25. Who was living off of $7.25? I mean, we have these issues all over the place, and I don't know why people want to hit on these big social issues and talk about abortion every single year and talk about guns every single year. I mean, man, people want the same thing. They want food, they want safety, they want good schools, they want good roads, they want good jobs.
Is South Carolina a good reflection of politics everywhere? And the reason I ask that, because South Carolina is the only place where you might be with Bacardi sellers in the morning, but be with, Lindsey Graham in the afternoon. Right. You know what I'm saying? You might be with Tim Scott on a Tuesday, Jim Clyburn on a Wednesday. You might be with a Nancy Mace on a Thursday, and then, some other Jamie Harrison on a Friday. Like, so it's such a unique place. Is there any place else like that?
I haven't seen any other place like South Carolina, man. South Carolina, we get together a lot. Like, Republicans and Democrats get together a lot. Now, the issue that I see is that behind closed doors, it is all, listen, it's all a show, y'all. It is all a show, a TV show, reality TV show. Because I've had, some of these Republicans come with me in the back room and say, Jermaine, I agree with everything you just said, man. Like, I'm with you. And then go out there and say the complete opposite thing. And then I'll be like, bro, like, don't come to the back room and apologize to me, after you just said this other stuff back here. Man, but they might primary me if I vote this way or if I do that. But, I'm going to help you on the back end or I'm going to do this. I'm like, man, y'all are some real live cowards. Like, you're a coward. And I say this all the time. I say, listen, let's tell the truth. Let's talk about it. Let's be honest about this stuff. And there's just a bunch of cowards in there, man, and I think that's the problem. And
that's why I liked your DEI speech, and everybody should go watch it if they haven't. But you directly confronted colleagues, as you just kind of put it. But you said, friends behind the scenes, but vote for racism when it matters.
That's right.
What did you want to speak that boldly?
Yeah, man. So I was so mad when I had to give that speech, man. I didn't plan none of that stuff, man. I was sitting at my desk and I was ready to go, honestly. It was like a long day. But there was an amendment that went up there that said no public dollars would go to white supremacy programs. And now I'm thinking these people up in here are my friends, right? So I'm thinking they're going to say something about this amendment. They're either going to pass it or they're going to say something and then table it. Man, nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. One of the Republicans just walked by the Speaker of the House and just put his hand up like this, said, move the table. Didn't say nothing. Bro, I was so mad.
And it said white supremacists?
White supremacists. And I was like, I said, yo, come on, man. So I jumped up so fast and ran to the front, and the ladies behind the desk were trying to calm me down. So if you see in that video clip, I have a cup of water up there. It's because the ladies behind the desk gave me a cup of water trying to calm me down. And I was like, man, I said what I had to say. But what happened after that, after I said what I said, I left out the back of the steps of the State House and I sat down and I actually cried, man.
Yeah.
I cried because I was so hurt. I was so hurt that these people that know my kids, that know my family, I know their family, you know, we've hung out together and y'all have the audacity not to even stand up on my behalf, like not to say nothing, you know. But after that happened, so what happened is, as I was sitting outside, people started coming out to the back steps of the State House saying, Jermaine, we won. I was like, what you mean we won? It said we pulled the whole proviso out of the budget. They got rid of the whole damn bill.
Good.
Wow.
And because and one by one, Republicans came up to me as I was coming back to the State House. They were like, Jermaine, we apologize. We're sorry. We did this in poor taste. We shouldn't have did it this way. But it shouldn't have ever got to that point.
Yeah.
They should have spoke up on the front half and made it known to the people of South Carolina that white supremacy has no place in South Carolina.
As a politician, because in your speech too, you also said that they let you down every time when you were talking about them voting, right? As a politician, like when you're disappointed like that, like how hard is it to like next day get up and still like fight the good fight?
Yeah, man, it's difficult every day. It is difficult every single day because you have to go in there and you got to put yesterday behind you. But the hard part about it is knowing that every time you push red or green, somebody's going to die based on your vote. That's the hardest part about it. And I truly don't believe that you could be a politician for 30, 40 years and truly care about people. I don't think you can because it weighs too much on your conscience if you truly care about people. I mean, it kills me every single day knowing how people across South Carolina are suffering because of what we're doing up there. You know, even when I was on the Richland County Recreation Commission, I didn't feel right about writing policy without actually talking to the people. So I drove around all the parks and met all the employees and met everybody because I wanted to know what they were doing every single day. I didn't feel good about making laws and making things about them, and I had never even seen what the people on the ground are doing. It's tough. It's tough, and honestly, I don't have an answer to it, man. Because it's so hard dealing with these individuals every single day, knowing that some of them just don't give a damn about you.
I don't know.
Have any of the other legislators in South Carolina like changed the way they approach you since you made that speech?
Yeah, man. Listen, they a lot of them started getting afraid. They started getting afraid. I've had some closed doors come to Jesus meetings, man.
How old are you?
6'7".
6'7" black man. They've been
6'7".
afraid.
Yeah.
My kid's afraid,
Yeah, 6'7". Yeah.
That's got to be a part of your campaign in some way.
Yeah, listen, I got
team.
my daughter working on something, man. I got my daughter
6'7".
working on this good 6'7" jump, man. Yeah.
But just to piggyback off of Lauren's question, who do you go to in those vulnerable moments? I mean, I know you have a beautiful wife that, but like, is it therapy? Is it your pastor?
Yes.
Is it,
All of those.
you got a lot of weight.
Yeah. I go to my wife a lot. I lay a lot on her shoulders. A lot of the things that I got to deal with, and then I also go to my pastor. I've called my pastor. I don't know how many times I've called him crying and talking about the issues, talking about the concerns of the people. I mean, I had one person, man, who didn't want me to come this is right when COVID had started, and he didn't want me to come pass out masks down in his church because he was more interested in his political position than me actually saving lives. And I was so hurt by that, man. And I've talked about those type of situations. I have a therapist that I go to. Listen, and let me make this PSA. It is black folk. It is okay to have Jesus and a therapist. Because we always talk about praying things away. Listen, I pray and I go to therapy. And I need the assistance that I can to help me deal with some of these issues and concerns that the people are having.
Yeah.
But it's heavy. It really is.
Yeah.
What's the identity you want South Carolina to have under your leadership? Because, people will say it's like a lot of old South politics that still shape the state today. What's it going to look like under you?
Yeah, no DC and SC. I say that all the time. No DC and SC. Right now, we are too reliant upon Washington D.C. and federal policies. I don't want Washington D.C. to dictate what we do in South Carolina. I want to make sure that we are just self-sufficient and that we are addressing the needs of the people of South Carolina. No matter if it's red or blue, whatever's going on, we need to address the issues of South Carolina. So that's going to be our main thing. No DC and SC.
Man,
Well, we appreciate you for joining us. I gotta ask, is it true that you were so poor you cooked a frozen hot dog with a candle? Is that true?
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. I mean,
How
listen,
long did that take?
bro. Listen,
creative.
and I
That's
don't,
creative,
I do
right?
not recommend it, man. I do not recommend it, bro. It tasted like burnt dog and wax, man. It was terrible.
Damn.
But yeah, so you know,
You ain't had no pot.
listen, no, there was no electricity or nothing.
Oh, okay. Say that. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, there was no electricity. So because there was no electricity, bro, it was like I had to get like it was like after the electricity go off, like the refrigerator is still kind of cold.
Yeah.
So I had to get one of the hot dogs and got one of the hot dogs and lit the candle, man, and put it on top of the candle, and the outside was burnt, but the inside was frozen, man. That thing was terrible, man. I don't recommend.
I would hate to see you hungry.
Oh, bro. But thank God I had some people that looked out for me too, man. My childhood wasn't all bad, man. I had people that looked out for me and gave me opportunities and things. So I'm a blessed man, honestly, man.
Yeah.
And how do you fit into this little ass car, man?
What
is this? What kind of car? What is this in me?
1977 C3
Classic.
Corvette, man.
Ain't no way in
Yeah.
hell you
That's what I
fit
said.
into
No, he
this.
definitely.
But so again, you gotta like put the seat all the way back. It's a custom seat that I'm putting in that thing, and then
might
I
as
got
well
the
just take the
T-top,
seat
bro.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you ain't got no backseat, basically.
Yeah, there's no backseat in the C3.
Okay. You drive it? You-
Yeah, I'm restoring it now. I ain't driven that thing
When
like
driving,
a
his
year
head
and a
stick
half.
out the top paws because he can't get under the thing. Like
Yeah.
Who you got restoring it?
Yeah, I'm restoring I restored it myself.
Really?
You a mechanic too?
Come on, Jermaine. Now I don't believe all of this.
Yeah, seriously.
What
yeah,
you mean?
yeah. I've been restoring it myself, man. I done rebuilt the whole front end already. I got all the brakes. Yeah, I got all new brakes on that thing. Yeah, I'm restoring the whole
I was
thing.
gonna recommend somebody to you, but
Well, I do it all myself,
yeah,
man.
okay.
¿Cómo se dice governor en español?
What?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, governor.
Oh, governor?
Yeah.
That's what- okay.
Governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
They
running for
don't-
governor.
They don't know. They don't know. I speak
yeah.
Spanish. Look,
It's
you know
just-
what I'm saying? Yeah, I speak it too. You
She
know.
married a Mexican a year ago. Now all of a
All right,
sudden,
but-
she.
but he
man, I ain't gonna do like that,
he
yeah.
belongs here. He belongs here.
Speaking of which, are you worried about ICE in South Carolina?
Man, listen, ICE, the issue that I have, so I don't have a problem with ICE. I have a problem with what they're doing and how they're implementing it right now. So they're like literally they're just looking for anybody who looks Spanish.
Crazy.
Anybody who looks like that or anybody who has a
Yes.
name like that, that's who they're attacking. Like that's who they're going at. And because
Don't
that's
look at
the
me.
issue,
Envy, no
that
parties,
is my
Jess,
problem.
No shows,
Like
and don't take Chris.
I mean, there's clearly a better way that we can do, to look at this immigration issue. I mean, there's way we can do amnesty. I mean, we have amnesty for everything else. Like, encourage people to come forward to say, hey, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to put you on probation for 3 years. We're going to have you pay taxes. We're going to do this type of stuff. And then, the people who don't come forward, those are the people you go after. I mean, we do some stuff like that, but incentivize people to come forward, man.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you be scared to come forward at a time like this?
Of course I would, because we ain't got no amnesty day. I mean, we're not
But even
incentivizing
with
anybody to
that,
do it.
Like, why would I trust government? That's all. If I was, even if that was to happen, why would I trust government?
Listen, but why? I mean, why do black people trust government right now? I mean,
Do we?
that's what I'm saying. So it's a whole bunch of stuff, man. But we got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he's running for governor of South Carolina. Make sure you get out there and vote and support him. How can
Jermaine
people donate if they
Johnson.
want to donate? How can they donate?
Man, listen, I need everybody to go to johnsonforsc.com, JOHNSONFORSC.com. We got to raise some money, y'all. Y'all know that as a black guy running for governor of South Carolina, I'll be the second nominee in the history of South Carolina. We need to raise as much money as possible. I mean, honestly, y'all got over 6 million viewers right now, right? The Breakfast Club.
8.
My bad. See, 8. There you go. See what I'm saying? If all 8 million people just gave $1, we would have more than enough money to become governor of South Carolina. But listen, we need $5, $10, $20. This is a real grassroots movement, and we want to go grassroots to grassroots funded.
And that's just for radio. That don't count like the YouTube and the podcast.
We'll get them all to give
Social
$1,
media.
man.
Yeah,
Get them all to give $1. No, or get them all to give $20.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's Jermaine Johnson. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?